Now, there appears to be conflicting reports on the continued closure of the courts in Ekiti State. While reports claim that federal authorities directed the police to ensure the courts remain shut, the police force PRO, Mr. Emmanuel Ojukwu, says he's not aware of any such directive. Mr. Ojukwu and the state's Attorney General, Mr. Wale Fakponda, however, agreed that the courts were shut at the instance of the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Ayo Daramola. The Attorney General adds that the National Judicial Council had given a directive on Wednesday that the courts should reopen, but says that the police is preventing this from happening. The courts in Ekiti were shut last month after an invasion by thugs said to be loyal to the governor-elect, Mr. Ayo Fayose. Now, the Lagos High Court sitting in Igboshere, Lagos Island, has accused the Defense Counsel of stalling the trial of the 4 men charged with the murder of Cynthia Osukwogu. The presiding judge, Justice Olabisi Akinade, specifically noted that the attitude of the Second Defense Counsel, Mr. Michael Ajayi, from the chambers of Mike Ibokwe, who failed to show up in court today despite sending a letter to the court for a stand-down. Now, this is the second time that the Second Defense Counsel has stalled the proceedings of the trial of the late Cynthia, who was killed in Lagos in 2012 by men she met and allegedly became friends with on a popular social media platform, Facebook. The prosecution closed its case in proof of the crime on September the 19th, 2014, for the defense to open its case. But the string of absences of the Defense Counsel has continued to stall the proceedings. Now, a riot that broke out at the Kirikiri medium security prison in Ikoyi, Lagos, has left 1 inmate killed and several others injured. The prison area has now been cordoned off by heavily armed security officers comprising prison guards, the army, navy and police personnel. It was gathered that inmates were fed up with what they described as high-handedness on the part of the new Deputy Comptroller at the medium security prison, DCP Kayode Odeyemi. The inmates alleged that he stripped them of all their privileges given to them by the former controllers, including the use of their own electricity generating sets, cooking their food, using mobile phones and other privileges which made them comfortable. However, the prison public relations officer, Okwe Fatinukun, says the riot has been controlled and no inmate escaped. Now, members of the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers have suspended their strike action today following a meeting between the union and representatives of the federal government in Abuja. And this was confirmed to our correspondent by the Eastern Zonal Chairman of NUPENG, Mr. Godwin Eruba. According to him, the union decided to suspend their strike action based on a promise by the federal government that the road would be fixed. He, however, added that if in 2 weeks no concrete action has been taken, NUPENG and Pengasin will come together to stage a protest. Moving on now, Lado is set to deliver Africa's first floating production, storage and offloading facility right here in Nigeria. During the groundbreaking ceremony held in Lagos, Lado says the construction of the yard worth $300 million is a milestone for the Nigeria content law. With an 18-month completion period, the facility will be capable of fabricating 100 tons per month.
This large expanse of land on Lado's facility is the location where a multi-million-dollar integration and fabrication yard will be sited for the Lado FPSO project. Said to be one that will change the industrial landscape of Nigeria's economy, the joint venture partnership between Samsung Heavy Industry and Lado is set to deliver 10,000 metric tons of fabrication in line with the country's local content policy.
It has taken Lado 13 years to reach this point, and this is truly a momentous day for us. For me personally, I'm particularly proud to be standing here today witnessing a significant milestone in the realization of my father's vision to create a wholly Nigerian facility that would be a platform from which thousands of Nigerian jobs would be created.
We shall remain irrevocably committed to international best practice of safety and respect for the environment, we shall abide by all relevant state and federal laws, and we shall work closely with all the relevant authorities and agencies of government.
When completed, the integration and fabrication here will be the first and biggest in Africa to deliver topside models for FPSO.
If we pull this off, there will be no further excuses about evading Nigerian content for scopes like FPSO integration and other projects like mega projects in Nigeria.
With the development we're witnessing today, Lado can now be considered a strategic national asset because we are at the very, very heart of the growth and development of local content in the all-important petroleum industry.
So in real time, if you are looking at how many welders that will participate in this entire project, it will be close to 3,000 welders.
An excited Lado team and Samsung say they're optimistic the project will meet the target completion date of October 2016. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
France's major car producer, Peugeot France, has keyed into the federal government's vision of transforming the nation's automobile industry. And this was disclosed by the managing director of Peugeot Automobile Nigeria, Mr. Ibrahim Boy, at a meeting in Abuja. He said the new partnership will see an overhaul of the automobile sector, which would in turn create more jobs.
The drive towards making the nation's automobile sector contribute significantly to the nation's socio-economic development is what informed this meeting. Realizing the significant role Nigeria plays due to its large population, officials of automobile Peugeot France promised to leverage on this to help in the provision of exotic and affordable cars for Nigerians irrespective of their income.
We have signed a partnership with PEN. We are now building cars. We are building the 301. We will introduce 2 other cars. Those cars will be built here in Nigeria. And we do think of the relationship on the long term.
Beyond just producing cars for Nigerians, the managing director of Peugeot Automobile Nigeria wants the relationship between both sides to be beneficial. He promised a good deal for Nigerians.
We are seeing a lot of turnaround in terms of patronage, especially from government agencies. On the private side, of course, we have a value proposition that is very difficult to resist. Our vehicles are efficient, our vehicles are very rugged, and they are designed with Nigeria in mind. So to that extent, we have no doubt that we'll be able to regain our position in the market.
The Minister of Trade and Investment describes Peugeot Automobile Nigeria as one of the leading car manufacturers in the world. He hopes that this feat will be sustained in the days ahead.
I know that you have made the right decision to come here, to come back here, and you're very much welcome back. Our job as government is to make it easier for you to come, but this time, as you say here, you're here for the long-term game. So it's a long-term play here. And our job is to work as partners with you to make sure that together we achieve a shared vision for the industry and that we all derive these symbiotic benefits and that we develop it into a sort of symbiotic relationship where it's a win-win for you and for us.
The federal government's newly introduced automobile policy has generated heated debates, especially on policy sustenance. With the expression of interest by Peugeot France to take the lead in the process, Nigerians can only be hopeful that the policy would be sustained.
We move over to health issues, and the death toll arising from the Ebola virus disease in Guinea, Liberia and Sierra Leone has been put at 4,000 by the World Health Organization. This latest figure shows there have been 4,024 confirmed or suspected deaths in those countries. And this is coming as legislators in Liberia are said to have refused to grant the president more powers to deal with the Ebola crisis. President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has already declared a state of emergency in that country that allows her to impose quarantines. Now, today is World Mental Health Day, and experts are emphasizing the importance of family care in the quick recovery of mentally ill patients. A mental health consultant, Dr. Femi Olugbile, says stigmatizing such people will only hinder their recovery. He was speaking in Lagos during an event to mark the day, and the theme of this year's celebration is living with schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia is not just about the person who has it. It's about his ambience and also about his caregivers. Okay, so the people who have to live with schizophrenia, the individual is just at the center of the cluster. The people around the cluster who are very crucial in determining the outcome are also the relatives, the wife, the husband, the father, the mother, the brothers, the sisters.
When the news at 10 returns, the Lagos State Government records an impressive budget performance for 2014. That's coming on Business News. You join us again.